Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be diving back into our series on goals and achieving our dreams and living our best life. So thank you guys for joining me today. So today's video is going to be about what's today's video? Oh my god, I'm blanking. Today's video is going to be about overcoming obstacles and what you can do to one, try to prevent that from happening. Well, you can't prevent stuff from happening, but what you can do to best prepare yourself in the event of, unexpected obstacles, but also how to get through an obstacle when you don't necessarily have a plan. Again, this is going to be a follow-up to last week's video. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's kind of a theme going. I do want to have a theme for every month, and each week we're going to dive into a topic pertaining to that theme. So in case you haven't noticed, this month's theme has been goals, setting goals, achieving goals, all of that kind of stuff. So to wrap up this mini series on goals, we're going to talk about how to overcome obstacles when you are working towards your goals. So let's get right into the video. Obstacles are a natural part of your journey when you're setting goals. Obviously life happens, things happen outside of our control, but also sometimes we are our biggest enemy and we create our own obstacles. We self-sabotage all the time. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is true. A lot of times we can get in our own way, whether we are overthinking, we are, overwhelmed, we are insecure in our abilities and what we're able to accomplish, whatever it may be. Sometimes we just step on our own feet and we fall. And that's totally fine. That's okay. So I want to talk about how we can not just not do that, but when we do find ourselves doing that, how we can rise above those obstacles so that we can stay on track to complete our goals. One of the things you can do, and it is by far my favorite thing to do, is to reframe your obstacles as opportunities, specifically opportunities for growth. So obviously something bad happens, something unexpected happens, your immediate response is probably not always going to be the best one, right? But with time and with practice and with a plan, hint hint from last week's video, with a plan, you can put yourself in a position where you are able to grow from the circumstances, where you are better prepared next time to move forward. So I always look at obstacles as an opportunity, not just as an opportunity to see, how I can turn the situation around to accomplish things in a different way, but seeing them as an opportunity in terms of, I'm probably going to have another challenging thing happen at some point. It's not always going to be smooth sailing. So how can I go about this situation so that when I find myself in this position again, I am, one, prepared, but two, I am able to get out of the situation. I'm able to put myself in a better position to keep moving forward. The way that you can get in the habit of repositioning or reframing these obstacles is by taking a step back and having a moment to think. As we talked about in the previous video, it really helps to have an action plan of how, not only how you're going to work towards your goals, but what you're going to do in the event of your goals needing to be adjusted. Sometimes plans change and that's totally okay. But when you make your action plan, you are taking the time to fully think through all of your options, all of the things that could go wrong, all of the things that could go right. So when things do go wrong, when things do take a slight turn to the left, you think about what you're going to do to problem solve. You're not going to have the solution for every specific problem because there's no way to know what problems are going to arise in the very beginning when you first decide that this is what you want to do. But you create a plan, you create a system, you create a network of people who will have your back, who will be there to support you when you need help. And you rely on those people, you rely on those systems, you rely on that plan to help you move forward. So I want you to make sure that when you are writing your plan and you're setting up your spreadsheet, you're setting up your Notion workspace, you are also including a section where you are being mindful of the chance that things can go wrong, and you are taking time to think about what you are going to do to make sure you don't um, regress and you continue to move forward. Because I know it could be really frustrating when something goes wrong and then you do something else and then everything just spirals. It's one thing after the other and you're just losing progress. You know, you're going backwards. And I know how frustrating that is, but that can be prevented. It can be mediated by keeping a level head and having a plan in place ahead of time, so that when you do find yourself in that position where things are going wrong, instead of spiraling, instead of getting overwhelmed, instead of overthinking and making matters worse, you remain calm, you remain on track, and you know that you're going to get through it. The next thing I want to talk about is along the same line. I want you to be able to adopt a solution mindset. So basically, I want you to be able to think critically under pressure and problem solve. So like I said, you're not going to have the solution to every single problem right out the gate. That would be amazing if you could anticipate every single thing that could go wrong, but sometimes there's going to be a few things that you didn't plan for, and you need to be able to think in those times. So again, keeping your head above water, not struggling and drowning yourself in all of these things that are going wrong and making matters worse. You have to be calm. You have to have a solution mindset. So instead of wallowing in self-pity that nothing's going right, that you're a failure, that you're stupid to try to achieve something so ambitious, you need to be able to look for the solutions. Reframe this obstacle as an opportunity for growth, all right? So instead of letting the situation take over you, you need to take over the situation. This obstacle is not a permanent thing that's always going to be keeping you down unless you let it become that. So you have to be in a place where you can see beyond the problems in front of you so that you can see the solution. And a way that you can do this is by, again, I say it all the time, is by talking to your friends and family. The people who are in your corner may be able to offer their advice. You may not take it, it may not be the best advice in some instances, but it still helps just to have a second opinion of, you know, what you could do, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, instead of just fighting this battle on your own. Yes, it's your goal. Yes, at the end of the day, you're the one putting in the work and your life will be affected depending on what you choose to do. But don't think that just because you're struggling, you have to do it by yourself, especially if you have a network of people who want to help you, if you have resources available to you to help you navigate your way. Going back to the first video, if the train has left the station, use the existing path to get to the next station, to get to, you know, point B, C, and D. You don't have to stop just because things got a little difficult. Use the existing pathways to find a solution ahead of you. Make sure that you're keeping your journal up to date, you're writing your progress, you're, you know, working in your Notion workspace, you're tracking everything so that you can look for the patterns of things that have been successful and you can adapt and try the things that will likely move you forward instead of pushing you back. Next, this might be a little controversial, but I want to say that when you're faced with an obstacle, you kind of just have to put on your big girl pants and just be resilient. You just got to tough it out sometimes. And I know it's hard, and I know it's definitely easier said than done, but I definitely had to just pull myself through some things. I don't know if I talked about this before, but a couple months back, well, several months back, actually last year, I went to my first concert. If you haven't seen the video, you can watch it. But I went to my first concert and my friend invited me last minute. It was a whole thing. Plans fell through, things changed, and I ended up going with my friend. And it was great, but I had to drive, and I am not someone who's comfortable driving long distances, especially at night, especially in places that I am unfamiliar with, and that's exactly what I had to do. And I remember telling my friend, I was like, well, damn, I guess I'm gonna earn I'm gonna earn my badges today, because if we want to go to this concert, then I'm gonna have to put on my big girl pants and we're gonna have to go. Like, I'm gonna have to drive. I'm gonna have to take control of the situation. I'm just gonna have to trust in my ability to do what I need to do. Like, yes, I'm afraid. Yes, I'm anxious. Yes, there's all these things that can go wrong, but I'm not gonna focus on that, because that's only going to make matters worse. I need to be calm. I need to see the solution on the other side, and I need to be resilient as hell to be like, you know what, no matter what happens, we're going to the concert, nothing can stop us. Like, I'm not going to let my own fears and anxiety stop me from having this experience and causing me to miss out on something that is really awesome. Like, that was my first concert. Imagine if I didn't go because I was afraid of the drive there, because I was anxious that, you know, something was going to go wrong. Like, sure, a lot of things could have gone wrong. I'm not going to lie and say, like, you know, we were perfectly safe the whole time. Like, I don't know, anything could have happened. But the point that I'm making is that it is up to you to take matters into your own hand and decide for yourself what the outcome is going to be. Of course, you don't have full control over that, but you have control over how you respond to the situation and how you choose to react. So you just have to be resilient. Like, that's what it is. Yes, there are things that you can do to mediate things, to plan ahead, to make your situation easier, to make it better, but sometimes life is just hard. Things are shitty, and you just have to pull through. Like, you just have to deal with it, you know, until it gets better. Of course, it's not always going to be that way. And of course, I would prefer that things aren't that way. But sometimes the only thing you can do is to just exist and bear it until things get better, unfortunately. So you just have to be resilient. You have to have that determination, that motivation to get through it no matter what. Because if you have goals and you're ambitious and there are things that you want to do, if there's something that sets your soul on fire and you're gonna do it no matter what, then that means that when things are tough and there's no other solution, then you have to do it no matter what. Like, that's what that means. So be resilient. That's really important. Like, of all the things that I talk about, there's one thing you take away from the series, is that you have to be resilient. You can't accomplish things just by, you know, just on a whim. Like, you can, sure, but if you're really serious and you want to accomplish things even when it gets hard, you have to be resilient. And the next thing, adding on to that, is once you are in the thick of it and you're being resilient and you're showing grit and you're going through it, also be kind to yourself. Practice self-compassion. Give yourself some grace. Just because things are going wrong does not mean it's your fault. And if it is your fault, like if you did something that caused this to happen and this is just the consequence of, you know, a bad decision or like a deal going south, yes, sure, you have to take accountability and be responsible for your decision, but don't beat yourself up about it. Things have already went wrong. Piling onto that is not going to make the situation any better. Give yourself some grace and practice some self-compassion, because at the end of the day, you are human and you are deserving of love and you are deserving of a second chance. So allow yourself the opportunity to grow from the experience, to learn from the experience, so that when you are in a similar situation, you can see beyond the problem and immediately find the solution, because you know that one, you'll get through it, two, you've done it before, and three, at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do. Like, just give yourself some grace, you know. Don't beat yourself up, give yourself some credit, because if you made it this far, chances are you're gonna make it to the end. So don't give up, hang in there, and be kind to yourself, because it's hard. It is hard, and it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel like you're not making progress. It's okay to feel like shit sometimes. Like, life gets shitty. It is what it is. But don't give up on your goals and don't give up on yourself because of one bad decision or, you know, one misstep. Things will work out. You just have to be determined, you have to be resilient, and you have to stay calm. Just be patient with yourself. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely comment down below what you do in, you know, the situations where things don't go to plan. What is your backup plan? What is your go-to strategy to get you through the mud. I guess, I don't know. Definitely comment below. I would love to read your suggestions of what you do, because I may, you know, benefit from what you guys do. I definitely hope that you guys benefit from these videos, but I want to learn from you guys as well. As I've said, I make these videos to keep myself accountable, to make sure I'm practicing what I'm learning and what I'm, you know, trying to do in life. So definitely share that knowledge with me. If you guys have your own takes, definitely share that below. Definitely like the video if you made it this far, and subscribe because we're having more videos like this. Yeah, so we are going to be wrapping up this series soon. I think I might do one more video. I'm not sure. There's like, honestly, I could make videos on this topic all day long, but I don't want to be too repetitive or make too many videos on the same topic. So we will be moving on from goals very soon. Maybe next week we'll do something else, or we'll do one more video for goals. I don't know yet, but we are going to be wrapping up this mini series. I hope you've enjoyed, and do look out for those resources that I've talked about before. I do want to start offering worksheets and, you know, additional support for people who are on this journey too, because we're all in it together. So I'm rambling. I always do this. Comment down below what I should do with my hair for the next video. I'm just gonna keep the joke going because I never know what to do with my hair. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely week, because I'll see you next week. So goodbye.